Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is a quick little unboxing and video about the Smallrig Pro Mobile Cage for the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now this is by a company called Smallrig, and they are very well known as a good third-party manufacturer of rigs, cages, and accessories for mobile and video and cinematography and photography. And I've been using a lot of their products for really a long time. That said, this is not a sponsored post. I did not get this for free. Now this was released back in December, and there were a lot of issues with it reported by users, and they had a quality control issue, so there was a bit of a delayed release. In fact, these are still a little bit hard to find, but luckily they recently became in stock. So if you're interested in this, please check out my link down below. That really be helpful to my channel. All right, so as you can see, it's a nice clean box. It's pretty well presented. There sometimes is some tape around the box. Mine just came completely sealed. I had already removed the seal back on. Here it is. It looks like it's in a gun gray type of metal and aluminum, actually. Gun gray, silverish, grayish color. Not something that I am particularly keen on. Honestly, I would have preferred black, but this is the only color that is available right now. Although the fit and finish does look really good, which is very typical with a lot of Smallrig products. Now, again, with the caveat that there were actually some issues reported by some users. Looking at this right now, though, I got to say, it looks like by the time I've received this, which is here in April, it looks like they've ironed out a lot of it, because this does look and feel pretty beefy. This is not some sort of cheap little product that you pay for and then regret immediately, from what I can tell. Okay, so I can see right here, there's a little cold shoe mount up over here, which is useful, particularly, I'd say, either for lights or external microphones to be attached or anything else you want. But look, there's also these 4 little areas right here that allow you to go ahead and screw in a standard quarter shoe mount on here, either for lights or any other accessories that you like. Typically, I guess most people would basically stick on either a top handle mount, as you can see in one of their pictures. So you can do one of those, and they do sell that separately. I'll link down below. I don't have this one in particular, but I can use some other Smallrig compatible products for this as well. And over here, what's really was key for me when choosing a product like this was that I've been waiting forever for a moment to finally release their cases and allow me to go ahead and attach their really fantastic mobile lenses. This is compatible with that. I don't know exactly what mount that they want to call it, other than that this is kind of like a Moment V2 type of mount. And I can see that they have both of them over here perfectly fit for the iPhone 12 Pro Max, at least in my model. Now, they do sell this for other models. This one just happens to be the Pro Max model. Now here, I see that there is a little bit of rubber on here, which I suppose helps the unit from sliding, and probably just overall user interface as you are holding the phone probably helps a little bit in terms of keeping things steady and making sure that you don't lose a grip on here. There's an unlock button right over here, which you press to release the top cage. And you can see there's a little bit of a give on here. See that? So the fit and finish is not 100% perfect, but you know, it'll do. This is particularly just in under $50 product around release date. Now I see here that there's this button here for the power/shutter. Suppose it depends on what you configure it as. And over here we also have plus and minus for the volume and also for the shutter. These look pretty well made, actually. My one concern here is if things get stuck in between here because of these grooves. But I like that there's all these 1/4 inch slots over here, and also down below as well, to use their accessories or other third-party accessories. And then also here on the side, where we also have a cold shoe up here near the top of the unit and also on the bottom. So there's plenty all around to attach points onto. So I'm just going to slide this in like so. And looks like, of course, no surprise, it seems to fit perfectly. And then I just have to slide this right on top. Now, something like that's going to be really key, especially for a lot of us users who like to use multiple cases. Now, this case does add a fairly significant amount of weight and heft to your phone. So now this feels really hefty, definitely very weighty, definitely not something that you would expect to, at least for me, I wouldn't expect to be putting this around in my pocket, nor do I expect this to hold up via MagSafe. So I'm going to go ahead and test that out. But I like that. And releasing it is just as simple as doing that. and then sliding your phone out, which comes out nice and easily. Now in here, there's actually some rubber liners on all around side, which helps protect with the shock protection and also to ensure a nice snug fit inside. So it's going to be really key when you are putting this in to ensure that you have a blower or some sort of paper around to make sure that there's no sand around there, because when you slide in your nice phone, that could potentially scratch it all the way up, all the way around. But since my phone is fairly clean, it was no problem at all to slide this back down through. I'm going to show this to you how it looks like down here as we slide it down here. All right, so then close this up, and the locking mechanism is over here. Lock that down, and it's very snug. Now there is no user guide in here. There's not a whole lot to see other than that they exactly let you know what's going on. So there's external lens insulation, which is here for the moment, and other third-party compatible ones. Ultra protection, yeah, I'm gonna say this is a lot more protection than what I had going on, which was the original iPhone 12 Pro Max clear case from Apple. It's got a quick lock design, and that's true. And it's got multiple mounting points, so that is true in all cases. Now this is going to be very helpful for me if I keep this around, if I know I'm going to be shooting primarily iPhone 12 Pro Max, because obviously when you have these mounting points, you're able to access a bunch of accessories for easy mounting rather than having to deal with some of those awkward mounting clip-on things that are less rugged. Okay, so check the buttons. Buttons do work. This one does not feel really great, but it works. Like, there's not a lot of give or movement in there. It really is right on tight in there. Over here, the volume rocker switches actually feel good. So they rock in and out very well. I appreciate that. Good luck. You cannot get access to the mute unmute switch down there without some sort of tool, which I do not believe that they provide. So that's going to be a little bit annoying. Unless I have a fingernail or some sort of other tool, I'm not going to be able to access that. That part is a little bit annoying, and I have to keep toothpicks around or some other thing to prevent scratching that from adjusting that switch. So that's one thing. Now look at how recessed this is over here. You see that? That's just not going to. That could potentially prevent this from being the optimal lens mount for this phone. Okay, so that could I could see that could cause some potential issues. It's a couple of millimeters. It looks like it's at least 1.5 to 2 millimeters down from there. All right, now to answer some other questions that some of you might have, I'm going to stick on the MagSafe. And does that work? The question is, does that work? And yes, the answer is yes, it would fit perfectly on here. In fact, it's pretty well aligned that it almost, well, not quite, but almost perfectly aligns with this top lid over here. So if you can see that, almost perfectly aligned. So it's actually a pretty good fit for that. And of course, it's going to work. I'll go ahead and plug that into a battery pack that I have over here, and you will see that it is, in fact, going to charge as long as the power comes out from the battery pack. And yes, as you can see, that is accurate and able to do so pretty well. Now, the other question I had was, well, what if I use the MagSafe Dual? Would that work? So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in also to the same battery pack, USB-C output, and stick this on there. My guess is probably not in the traditional sense, but let's see. Let's see if that works. There's a little bit, the reason why it might work is there's a little bit of indentation here. See that? So I'm going to stick this on there. Good news is, yes, it actually works. So that is actually a positive. I don't think anybody else has mentioned that. That's going to be important for some of us who like to travel with a MagSafe. So the indentation actually fits perfectly. And that is not something I would have expected. And it actually is lined up just right. So good job, engineers. I wish this is something that they had mentioned in the product description that would have really helped out immediately. And actually, if you want to just use this part on here, I can see that it actually fits just about perfectly. So it must have been somehow in alignment or in terms of the engineering process for them to fit this exactly and precisely. So I can see that works. Now, don't even think about trying to load this heavy thing with the additional case through the MagSafe and have it hold on some sort of car mount. Maybe on a desk mount, it's going to be okay. You see as I can hold it there. But if I shake it just a little bit, or if you go over some sort of bump, it's just not going to hold. So don't bother using this to securely attach it anywhere. That isn't maybe just a desk mount that you don't really care about whether or not it just kind of drops like an inch or two off of a desk mount. So see that? Just a little bit of a movement on an iPhone 12 Pro Max unit with the cage around it, and it will actually fall. Okay. All right, so that answers that. Now, the other thing I want to find out whether or not is, obviously, this is not going to affect any of the image quality that's coming out without any lens attachments. As you can see, there's absolutely no issues on the lens. There's no obstruction. It's perfectly aligned. So if there were any quality control issues, looks like they managed to take care of those things. Now let's see how snugly or how well it fits an actual Moment lens. Now these are Moment V2 lenses. Moment is not associated with this company at all. In fact, I don't think they can even tell you that this has a Moment lens mount. They just say that it's a quick lock design for the lenses. And here we go. So I have the 18mm. I'm just going to slide that right in there. Fits really nice and snugly, actually almost just about perfectly. Now if I open up the Moment lens app, let's go ahead and see how that works. Moment lens app. Okay, so I have the 18mm now, and looks like, yeah, I think that's the wide one. I got it in Pro RAW mode. So if I slide this back out, stick it on the correct one, it actually appears to slide on really well, better than actually Moment's own mounting mechanism. So that's a positive. And it's not loose at all. I know someone else mentioned it was loose. Nope, not loose at all, at least not with the 18mm that I have. This is the 18mm V2 lens. Someone did try an anamorphic, and they said it didn't fit very well. Again, like I said, some people might have gotten an early unit. Maybe they got a test early unit, and there were some issues with that. I did not see that to be the case with the 18mm that I just tried on here. I also have the 58. Let me try the anamorphic. I have that here. Here we go. Got the anamorphic here. I'm going to go ahead and try that on here and see. So I'm switching to the anamorphic layout. And let's switch this back to the 1X, which is the one down below. Let me stick that on there. No, actually, it's a good fit. It is definitely doesn't feel loose at all. I think what helps is, I think it just fits. I think they have this nailed down. I don't see a problem at all, at least with my unit. And keep in mind, mine had just got in stock in April of 2021. So if you have older stock, maybe it's time to contact Smallrig and see about getting replacement if you have any issues. But yeah, I actually see no issues at all with the anamorphic as well, as reported by some other people. So it looks like if you had an issue, definitely contact their customer service to get those type of things resolved. I'm going to really enjoy using this when I'm using my Moment lenses, which honestly I have not been using a lot of, primarily because I didn't have a way to mount it well, and I actually didn't like having to use the Moment case without the MagSafe. I like the MagSafe. This is fully compatible with the MagSafe because it is a direct connection on here, so you're not going to lose any of the charging capabilities or speed by using this and having a case in the way. So that's a pretty good design. That is something I appreciated. I appreciate the thought and the functionality that Smallrig has come up in this, and I will definitely be using my iPhone 12 Pro Max now more because I can stick this in a cage, mount this on a tripod socket, stick on additional lights and other accessories such as a wireless microphone or anything on here. So that's something that I'm definitely looking forward to. All right, that's it for this quick first look review. Now I know I said it quick, but I had a lot of things to go over. Still, if you have any questions, please let me know. Reach out to me down on the comments down below. I'm gonna give this a solid recommend here from my first impressions review and actually get a chance to start using it before I post any new updates on it. Chances are, if you don't see me post much of any new updates, it means I have no issues whatsoever with the Smallrig device unit, and I'm just going to look forward to continue to using something like this in part of my day-to-day arsenal. One other thing you do want to worry about, though, now that I see this, is this right here. So if you have any really thick cables from third party, this fits the Apple completely, no problem, with still good 0.5 millimeter all the way around. But if you have like a third party one that's just a little bit wider around here than the original Apple one, then you might have some problems sticking this in. But good news is that if you're not using it, it's going to be really easy to get it in and out because this has that unlock switch. I press that button, slide my phone out, and I'm good to go to switch to any other case that I want to use. That is something I definitely appreciate. All right, please give this video a like, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.